Have you ever felt that something invisible is hindering your life, even when you're doing everything right? What if I told you that what you're missing is just one revelation? Don't ignore this. You are not here by chance. This message reached you because there is a call, an urgent call coming from celestial dimensions, directed solely to your heart. And now, everything is about to change. There are spiritual doors that close when you ignore the signals. And today, heaven is screaming to get your attention. Something asleep within you needs to awaken. Otherwise, you will lose what was written for you since eternity. Listen, it has been sent to you. Not to everyone, to you. Because in your essence, there is something that needs to be activated. Something you have felt, but haven't yet fully understood. Have you noticed how some opportunities slip away for no reason? That you do your best, but something greater prevents you from progressing. This is not a coincidence. It is a warning that carries a gift. A light covered by layers of doubt, pain, and silence, but this light has not been extinguished. And today, I have come to rekindle it, because the time for waiting is over. There are moments in life when heaven intervenes, and this is one of them. And when it intervenes, it doesn't do so by shouting, but with the precision of an arrow shot directly towards your soul. How many times have you felt you deserve more? How many times have you cried in silence and thought no one saw you? I saw, I heard. And today, this pain will be reinterpreted. You don't need to be strong all the time. What you need is to listen, because this message is a key. A key that may unlock what the world tried to shut away, fearing your light. There is something moving now, an energy forming around you like a dance of light, waiting for your permission to enter. But you must first accept the truth. The truth that you were created with a different destiny. While others are satisfied with the ordinary, you were chosen for the extraordinary. And that is why the battle has been harder on you. Your dreams are not an illusion. They are a reminder of what you were promised before your birth. There is something written about you in the book of eternity, and today these words are being activated. There is a voice inside you that has always whispered, even when the world screamed the opposite. This voice is the echo of heaven in your soul, and it is time to listen to it without fear. You are tired, searching for answers that don't come. But what you don't know is that heaven's silence was waiting for this very moment. This is the moment of awakening, the moment of revelation, the moment of liberation. When everything seems dark, the light is about to appear in its strongest form, and this light is from within you. Don't be deceived by what the eyes see. There are invisible movements happening now in your favor. And even if you don't see them, something inside you has begun to change. You are more than your wounds, more than your mistakes, more than what people have said about you. You are chosen, and every tear has been recorded in heaven as a seed for a new time. Look within yourself now. Feel. Something is pulsating differently. As if your soul has begun to remember who you truly are, not what the world shaped you to be, but what heaven created you to be. If you've reached this point, this message was for your soul. Nothing happened by chance. And even if you forget, there are promises that have never forgotten you. I am merely a messenger, but what has been said here has begun to manifest. The answer you have been waiting for is now moving towards you, and you will know the moment it arrives. Your destiny will not be cancelled, but you must decide now. Will you remain asleep, or will you awaken to what has been prepared for you from the beginning? There are forces trying to make you forget who you are, and worse, they try to convince you that there was never a purpose. But heaven is still waiting. Yes, even amidst your silence. Have you noticed how some doors close without explanation? How everything seems to align for failure in your moments of greatest need? This is not the end. It is divine guidance. Something is being protected from you now, not as a punishment, but as a preparation. You are being shaped for something that cannot be built in haste. Heaven is working in the details. Not everything you lost was a loss. Some losses were salvation. Some people were removed to make way for others who align with your true destiny. You think you are standing still, but you are in spiritual motion. What your eyes do not see, your soul feels. And the anxiety you carry is a sign that something is about to explode. Do not resist the pain that brought you here. It was the wind that pushed you towards the shores of revelation. There are things that only appear when everything seems lost. You have been invited to break the repetitive cycles, and that is why you felt as if you didn't belong anywhere. Your place is being prepared now, but it requires the courage to leave what weakens you. Listen carefully. While you were wandering in silent prayer, heaven was whispering the strategies, and now these strategies are being activated one by one. The answer was never far away. It was only waiting for your emotional maturity. Heaven is not late. It waits for the perfect time when your heart can carry what was promised. Do you remember that feeling you had a few days ago, as if something was about to happen? It was not an illusion. It was a harbinger of an approaching spiritual shift. There is a divine code within you that will be deciphered when you stop seeing the past as a prison. Everything you went through was not in vain. It was training for the spiritual war you are now about to win. Every word you are reading now is like an arrow piercing the fortresses of doubt. And these fortresses are crumbling because this message did not come just to stir your emotions, but to correct your path. A moment will come when you look back and realize that the chaos was the stage for a miracle, and that the time of silence was actually a time of internal building. Everything had a reason. Pay attention to the signals, the encounters that seem random, the words that repeat. Heaven does not send the message only once. When you are about to move, you may have been planted in the right place, even if you don't see the fruits yet. But the harvest season is approaching, and with it begins the deeper acknowledgement of the shift into the tangible. There are those who don't understand you because they don't see what is designated for you alone. Your vision is spiritual, your mission is specific, and your time, though invisible, is real. When you thought heaven was deaf, it was actually pausing before the thunder. The announcement of the new does not come with sound, but with the movement of heaven in quietness. The anxiety you feel is not failure, but a driver. It is your soul responding to what is coming because something great is approaching and needs spiritual readiness. You will soon witness doors opening without logical explanation. And when that happens, remember this moment because the key has now been secretly placed in your heart. And even if you try to forget, this message will remain with you because it carries the frequency of your calling, and a true calling does not go silent. It echoes until it is answered. Have you ever wondered why you feel this invisible heaviness when you try to progress? Because your destiny carries power, and this power disturbs worlds that do not want you to excel. Your message is there. Voices try to distract you, make you doubt or retreat. But inside you, there is a frequency that has never been extinguished, vibrating in silence, waiting for the moment of explosion. You dream of symbols, names, images that repeat. This is not a coincidence. They are divine symbols trying to warn you. You are closer than ever to something that will change everything. People left you without explanation because heaven heard conversations you didn't hear. You are not rejected, you are protected, and this confirms the depth of your calling. With every step you thought was a failure, something invisible was being built. You were walking on barren land, but above you a path was being paved by heavenly hands. And when despair tried to suffocate you, it was not your strength that saved you, but the promise. It was never lost, deepened, waiting for the roots to grow before the flower appears. Many would not have endured what you endured, but you didn't realize it because you were surrounded by what is greater. Heaven embraced you even on the days you felt alone. You haven't seen anything yet, because what is about to happen will be so profound that your only response will be silence mixed with tears. Tears not of pain, but of confirmation. You have started receiving signals, a song suddenly playing, a number repeating, a name appearing at unexpected times. These are echoes of what is to come. When heaven wants to guide you, it makes the unseen whisper around you. And if you pay attention, you will realize that nothing happening is ordinary. Everything is directed. Perhaps you don't understand now, but you are at a turning point in your story. The point where the invisible begins to become reality and the impossible begins to recognize you. You feel as if something is calling you out of your comfort zone, and this is not a coincidence. There is a spiritual land that belongs to you, waiting for your courage to be reclaimed. Your name has been mentioned in places you cannot imagine, and it wasn't by humans, but by angels who are now moving. adjusting paths, removing traps, activating promises. The sense of urgency you feel is not ordinary anxiety. It is spiritual. It is heaven pushing you out of stillness, because the window opening now will not remain open forever. There are promises that only activate when you decide to take a stand. And today you have been spiritually pushed to this moment of decision. There is no more time for hesitation. What you carry inside you is sacred, and that is why you have been heavily attacked. But the attack is merely proof of the anointing on your life, and this anointing is now being activated. With every word you read, you will begin to notice subtle changes, new people approaching you, opportunities that seemed impossible beginning to appear. The flow of heaven has begun to manifest in your life, and if something tries to stop you now, know that the enemy felt you got too close. For darkness smells the light before it appears, and that is why the siege intensified. But you are stronger than you think, because your strength does not come from the flesh, but from the Spirit. And the Spirit supporting you comes from the cause, carrying the essence of eternity. Take a deep breath, feel. Something is changing. And this change will pull you away from superficiality. You were born for deep diving, and the sea of spiritual revelation is now within your reach. Have you noticed that some words have started touching you with a different depth? That is because your spiritual sensitivity is being recalibrated. Your soul is awakening from a slumber imposed by battles. Not all wars are visible. Many were fought within you, while others wanted you to be what heaven knew about you from the beginning. The pains that tried to break you were actually making way for the birth of something new. It wasn't an end. The ground was being broken for forgotten seeds to blossom. You think you are late, but you are exactly where you need to be. Heaven does not operate in haste, but with purpose. And the time you thought was lost is about to be restored. An activation is happening now in the depths of your soul. You will feel it in the coming days, a different sensation, strength that does not come from within you, but is granted to you from above. Everything you have been through until now was preparing you internally to bear the weight of the promise. For not every blessing is light. Some blessings require a psychological and spiritual structure so they don't shatter you. You haven't yet understood why some paths were closed, but you will soon understand. Every no was protection, and every delay was salvation from invisible traps. What is coming is too great to be received with empty hands. Therefore, heaven is filling your days with signals and your spirit with thirst. The time of preparation is over. Your gift was not lost, it was hidden behind wounds, but now the veil is tearing. You will remember who you were created to be, and you will feel a desire to start over. But this time towards that anxiety in your chest that you cannot explain. No one understands it. It is the soul whispering. There is something waiting for you outside the safety zone, and the safety zone never gave you wings. You have always been different, but you've tried to blend in. You dimmed your light so as not to disturb anyone. The time has come for you to shine, not out of pride, but because your light is an answer for other souls. Some will try to understand what is happening to you, and they won't be able to, because what will be poured into your life will not be visible to natural eyes. It will be spiritual and irresistible. There is a divine command being issued now, and this command does not depend on your strength or worthiness. It depends on only one thing: your willingness to say yes to the divine unknown. You don't need all the answers now, just one step. And this step will be taken by faith, not by logic, because miracles do not follow human plans, but eternal intents. You may feel like you are walking in the dark, but heaven does not need external light to guide you. It illuminates from within. And this inner light has begun to grow without you feeling it. If you could see what is being built now behind the scenes of the Spirit, you would cry not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Because what is coming is greater than anything you have ever dreamed of. You are not forgotten. You were preserved. And this changes everything. Because those preserved by heaven are placed in the right place and time to live what no one else can live. New frequencies are now being sent to you, opening doors in dimensions that human eyes cannot perceive, but your soul has already begun to respond. This moment is when the invisible begins to incarnate, when silence begins to utter revelation, and you will begin to see the hand that was guiding you even when you felt its absence. Do you feel that it is not just a feeling, it is a call? And when the call is heard, nothing remains the same. You will not return to the ordinary because the extraordinary has reached you now. Have you ever noticed how some places suffocate you for no apparent reason? It is because your soul no longer fits into small places. You are growing from within without realizing it. Some of the sleepless nights you spent were not coincidences. There were spiritual encounters where your spirit was being redirected. Heaven works even when your eyes are closed and your body thinks it is at rest. Your dreams carry clues. You saw faces, places, and sentences that seemed meaningless, but they were vast maps of a destiny approaching powerfully. The world around you seems the same, but something inside you has changed. You feel it. Your perception of time, of signals, and even of silence is no longer the same. The tears you hid were not forgotten. Every tear has a voice in the spiritual world, and now the echo of those tears is returning to you as an answer, not as a reprimand. Many tried to silence you, but what is inside you cannot be silenced. It is a fire, it is a call, it is a promise in the form of a drive. And this drive has now begun to break the barriers of fear. You do not need to understand everything, but you must believe that there is something greater moving you. The peace you feel while reading now is just the beginning of what is to come, a full revelation of the essence of your soul. Every time you thought of giving up, heaven redirected your steps. That is why you did not fall, and that is why you are here now, because an invisible thread was pulling your spirit upward. There are those who watch your journey without knowing the war you are waging within, but heaven knows. And that hidden battle is about to bear a victory that will be visible to all. Your story will inspire the lives of others. It will heal, awaken, and strengthen. But for that, you first had to be broken. Not out of cruelty, but so that light could seep through the cracks. You have what cannot be bought, imitated, or replaced: spiritual authenticity. And this is what heaven has chosen to use. Not perfection, but the truth that resides in your depths. The painful waiting time is about to end. You will be surprised, but not by just anything. By something precise and specific. You will know the moment it happens. It was crafted specifically for you. The promises that seemed to sleep were only waiting for your voice. When you speak, heaven moves. There is a power in your words that has not yet been fully activated. When you are silent from intense pain, the angels intercede for you. But when you speak with faith, the spiritual world bows. And this is the time of declaration, even before you see. Stop underestimating your worth, because there are spiritual armies moving for you. You are more important in the kingdom than you think. There are matters that no one else can access, because there are spiritual codes that only respond to your identity. And the closer you get to your true self, the more heaven reveals to you. The recent attacks were not a sign of weakness, but of nearing fulfillment. Hell trembles when it realizes that someone is about to touch their destiny. Heaven does not demand your perfection, but your surrender. And in this surrender, you will change, not by force, but by revelation. For true love heals even the deepest roots. You were forgotten by many, but heaven never forgot you for a moment. And while you were crying in silence, there was a light shining on your life that only the eternal gaze can see. And now that light is beginning to be seen. Those who mocked your journey will see your blossoming, and they will not understand how. Because your growth comes from an invisible, inexhaustible source. Have you felt as if time is accelerating? As if something is pushing you to make decisions you have long postponed? This urgency is not anxiety. It is a heavenly activation. There are places you can no longer bear to stay in, and people who no longer harmonize with you. This happens when your soul begins to align with destiny, and the small becomes unbearable. Your soul is beginning to harmonize with what was written about you before everything. And on this path, everything that does not carry truth begins to dissolve before your eyes. You did not waste your time, you were being weighted. Every fall taught you something that will be essential for supporting what is to come. Because great promises require a solid foundation. A season is now approaching its end, not with sadness, but with revelation. You will understand that what seemed like an end was actually the beginning of the fulfillment of all that heaven prophesied about you. Your feeling of being out of place is increasing, because the right place is approaching and will embrace you as if it were made specifically for you. Because it is. Everything you overcame in silence gave you authority. Not an authority imposed, but an authority carried in your stance, in your gaze, in your presence. And this authority will be noticed without you uttering a word. There are words you will hear later that will confirm what you feel now. They will come from unexpected mouths, at unexpected moments, because heaven uses even the unexpected to remind you of your worth. You have been in places where you felt invisible, but now heaven is preparing encounters that will make you realize you were never hidden. You were preserved for the right time, and that time has come, and with it come revelations, connections, and openings. What seems stalled will move with a precision that makes you understand it wasn't about effort, but about alignment. You will no longer need to explain yourself. What is being activated within you now will speak louder than any justification. Your presence alone will be an answer to questions not yet asked. Heaven is tearing the veils from your mind. The lies you believed about yourself are being nullified, and the truth is shining. The sun after years of night. Prepare to be surprised in the details. The answer will not come as you expect, but it will be so precise that it leaves no room for doubt. And you will know it came directly from the heart of God. Even if it seems late, you are spiritually ahead. Because the world measures by the clock, but heaven measures by purpose. And your purpose has arrived at the perfect time without any delay. You thought you were waiting for something, but the truth is that this thing was waiting for your awakening. And now that you are awake, everything begins to move towards you quickly. What seemed ordinary will now transform. Because your eyes are being trained to see beyond, to see the invisible, to discern the hidden, to sense what only those who carry the calling can feel. Every step from now on will be strategic. Every choice will have eternal weight because you are no longer walking alone. There is a heavenly procession surrounding you in every direction you take. You no longer need to ask for permission to live as you were created. Heaven has released you. And whoever tries to hinder your progress is not opposing you, but opposing a divine plan. Even on the days when you feel your faith is weak, remember, it is not your faith that supports you, but the one who called you. And he does not retreat when he decides to raise someone for a time like this. Now, all you have to do is continue, even without understanding everything, even without a constant feeling. Because what is being born within you transcends logic. It is destiny, and it has just begun. If this message has found its way to your heart, know that it did not come by chance. It came at the right time, with the right burden, and in the exact direction. Thank you for allowing every word to enter your spirit. And now, if you feel that this message was for you, confirm your receipt by writing the number 333 or 111 in the comments. These numbers are spiritual symbols for confirmation and alignment. They show that you have heard, understood, and are ready for what is to come. And remember, heaven does not speak only once. There are other messages coming to you directly in the upcoming videos. Therefore, it is essential that you subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell button so you don't miss any heavenly guidance that could completely change your course. You are part of something greater. This journey does not end here. You're only at the beginning. And you are now being prepared to receive revelations that will change everything around you. This channel is a bridge, a sacred space where heaven meets earth, where angels meet you. So keep an open heart and wait for the coming messages. They will come stronger, clearer, and always at the right time. Thank you for being here. You are chosen, you are light, and heaven is waiting for your answer.